Every character participating in the Ahsoka finale was left on a very high note. Thrawn arrived to the main Star Wars reality prepared to cause havoc, but Ahsoka and Sabine Wren found themselves abandoned in an unfamiliar realm with no way back home. The conclusion created more questions than it did answers, and those questions all but assure an Ahsoka Season 2 in the future. For all of the significant Star Wars players involved, Ahsoka's conclusion amounted to a single large Uno reverse card. Grand Admiral Thrawn and the inexperienced Jedi Ezra Bridger, who had been stuck on Peridea for years, have finally returned home, but everyone else who had spent the most of the season trying to find a means to travel to another galaxy is now stranded there. The narrative of Ahsoka and Sabine in Star Wars is rather simple. The two rebels have taken up residence with the native insectoid people, the Nodi, as they attempt to find a means to return to the main Star Wars galaxy after failing to stop Thrawn. Fortunately, because Sabine has now been able to manifest a link to the Force, Ahsoka will have plenty of time to train her. In the meanwhile, the events leading up to Baylan Skoll's Ahsoka voyage concluded with the fallen Jedi perched on a massive statue of the Father, one of Star Wars' Mortis gods, and confidently heading for whatever it is that has been calling to him. We speculate that it may be the Mortis gods themselves, or perhaps something worse, like Abeloth, the bringer of chaos, the scariest monster in Star Wars legends. Shin Hati, Baylan's former trainee, was left on her own and eventually sought safety in a bandit camp, as Baylan was now more interested in finding answers than providing them. Thrawn and Ezra were two characters that underwent a favorable 180-degree turn. After completing their tenure as Ahsoka, the two former rebels returned to their home galaxy. A startled but delighted Hera Syndulla welcomed Ezra along with a few new Republic soldiers. Thrawn was last seen traveling to the planet Dathomir. Undoubtedly, the Grand Admiral was en route to devise a malevolent strategy aimed at assisting the Night Sister in bringing the Empire back to its former glory. Morgan Elsbeth was the only Star Wars character to have a satisfying resolution in the Ahsoka finale. She was ultimately promoted to the rank of top-tier Night Sister and granted a sixth sword encased in green flames, but Ahsoka Tano murdered her in their last combat. Known as the Sword of Talzin, the green fire sword made its debut in the Clone Wars. It is likely that Ahsoka retained the sword for herself after beating Elsbeth.